It's certainly been a while since I've made a review for a movie in theaters. Months ago, when a new film came out, I would make sure to catch it and give feedback on whether or not the latest horror fare was worth viewers' time. As the box office kept on rolling, we've seen a lot of films come and go that could be judged pretty easily in terms of whether you'd get a ticket. And even if they weren't that great, those movies could be seen without too much resulting anger at not getting a fantastic product. But you tell me that a full, real sequel to the Blair Witch Project was made with as close a plot as they could get to the original, and I'm right on top of it. Where mainstream films and Nightmind material meet, Blair Witch can be found in the very center. The Blair Witch Project, released in 1999, was a game-changing film in terms of horror movies and immersive creative media, and one of the very first to engage in alternate reality game-style tricks. The promotion for the original Blair Witch involved selling as many people as possible on the lie that the documentary was real. It was billed as genuine found footage, and the website was made up to include fake police reports, news articles, and interviews with citizens around the area where the film crew went missing. During screenings at film festivals, flyers were handed out to audience members asking anyone with information on the missing cast to come forward, in one final effort to find the Blair Witch documentary team. Early movie databases like IMDb had actors listed as either missing or dead, and the team behind the movie even made another fake documentary for the Sci-Fi Channel. It was called The Curse of the Blair Witch, and it did its absolute best to convince audiences that the upcoming film was as real could get. The Blair Witch Project is a legend when it comes to our kind of media, not just for its content and style, but for the entire campaign surrounding its release. This was a film that pulled no punches when it came to playing the alternate reality angle. The film itself is also a wonderfully tense trek through some clearly haunted woods and was the first major name in found footage film. There was a second film made in the early 2000s called Book of Shadows, but we're not going to talk about it. Forget it exists, most people have. And so have Adam Wingard and the crew behind the new film, because Blair Witch 2016 gets right back down to the core, style, and integrity of the original idea. Even though they couldn't pull off the same alternate reality campaign as the first film, because that can truly just be done once with a film, they did manage to keep this project as secret as they could until announcing it this summer. Previously, the film went under a codename called The Woods and even had a fake trailer made. The studio kept up the charade all the way through Comic-Con this year for its first screening, which had viewers entering the theater firmly believing they were seeing The Woods. After the film ended, all of the promotional material at Comic-Con was flipped over to reveal it was actually Blair Witch. So, did they accomplish the task? Is Blair Witch really a true sequel to the Blair Witch Project? Like with all groundbreaking milestone movies, there's no such thing as repeating the miracle of the first accomplishment with a sequel. But in terms of delivering the sequel you wanted for Blair Witch, they did pretty damn good. The Blair Witch Project is a very different animal when it comes to horror movies for a lot of reasons, but the kind of experience it offers and the kind of rules it sets up are very different from most horror movies. Mockumentary-style found-footage films like these are less about character development and story depth as they are about creating an experience, something in which you're feeling with characters in a very dark, very terrifying situation as it happens. Active empathy is at play in a film like this rather than standing in another room or area watching from a third-person perspective, understanding how they feel. The goal of a film like this is to get you to feel at the same time as the character is in trouble, not to stand at an arm's length just understanding what they feel, and that agenda is in play from beginning to end. A Blair Witch type of film is all about active emotion and experience. You're not thinking about what you're seeing, you're feeling it, which is a core element of all horror films, but in this one, it's the main agenda. Blair Witch comes as close as it can to giving you everything you enjoyed about the original while adding new terrifying tricks. This film has exhilarating moments of fear and despair. In particular, the most iconic moment from the Blair Witch Project is the kind you get to experience twice in Blair Witch. That moment of terror and despair, and knowing you're trapped, all your friends are dead, and there's nowhere you can run that's safe. You get that not just once, but twice in Blair Witch, and the second moment is even more cruel and psychologically terrifying than the first. You could argue that you get 3 moments actually, judging how you feel during the ending. The setup is one that really honors the original. This film is centered around James, the brother of Heather, who led the original documentary crew in the Blair Witch Project. He was 4 years old at the time she disappeared and has always wondered what happened to her. After seeing a video uploaded online from a tape found in the woods that gives James the feeling his sister is still out there, he gets in touch with the documentary student and the video uploader, and with his best friend and his girlfriend in tow, this whole group embarks on a journey to find the Blair Witch house. This group has an interesting build that feels like a natural advancement in a sequel. They've all got earpieces that have GPS tracking and cameras in them so you can see from each member's perspective at any point. They have a few hand cameras, some walkie-talkies, night vision cameras that can be set up for surveillance over their campsites, and a drone which can reach high above the trees and give them a constant sense of where they are. The group is larger than before, composed of 6 people. We have Blair Witch believers, we have those who just want to find the truth, and we have those who are highly skeptical. These characters also have a bit more character than in the original film, with moments of friction and conversation better fueled by their personalities and beliefs. At times, you'll even catch moments of incidental information through just their expression as the camera rolls by, looking as if you caught their feelings by accident. You know why everyone is here and they all play well with each other even when they're in opposition over an issue. But, like I said, a Blair Witch type of film isn't as much about character as it is experience, and this time, the Blair Witch does not play around. She is more menacing than ever before, with events happening that make you wonder if it's even a witch that's haunting these woods anymore. Something horrible is out there for sure, but if it's the Blair Witch, she's been practicing some truly frightening magic in the years since catching the original documentary crew. From a sequel like this, you want to see callbacks to all of the original tricks, and you want to see new ones, and you really get them all. You even get old tricks given a brilliant new twist using the setup given, and it feels very clever to see them played out. The action does happen faster than before, but it doesn't feel too rushed. We can tell that this Blair Witch is stronger than she used to be for sure, and knowing the premise of the first film, I imagine a lot of viewers enjoy not waiting around too long for the fun to begin. What I will say about the beginning of the scares is something that one of my favorite reviewers to watch, Chris Duckman, said perfectly in his Blair Witch review. The fake jump scares have got to stop. Yes, Blair Witch has false jump scares and forced jump scares during moments of fear, and I won't mince words about it. They will piss you off. When the film did as wickedly well in every other aspect of being a good horror movie and a really great Blair Witch horror movie, being made to endure the stupid, abusive, cheap shot jump scares that are included makes you angry, because you know the rest of the movie is so much better than that. These idiotic jump scares need to stop, and they need to stop now. This film proves you don't need them in the moments they don't happen, and I can't wait for the next smash hit film to come along and become a horror movie milestone without using a single jump scare. When that happens, we may finally see this awful trend decline. But despite its moments of studio-mandated idiocy from the jump scare department, Blair Witch is the sequel that everyone who is a fan of the original wanted. This is the Blair Witch, and she's meaner, scarier, and far more evil than ever before. The finale is an absolute thrill, and going through this film is fun. It's just a good time, and an excellent way to kickstart the autumn season. If you've been missing the terrifying trips through monster-infested woods and marble hornets, go see Blair Witch. There's no telling how the rest of 2016 will turn out in terms of horror movies, but when it comes to a good time at the theater, Blair Witch really did it for me, and I was not disappointed. Annoyed at the jump scares, yes, but overall really happy with the result. If you see the film, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Subscribe for more coverage of dark, horrifying, and mysterious media, and a big thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making Nightmind full-time. October is coming fast, and we're going big for the first autumn set free to hit it hard. Thanks for joining me in the dark this evening. Once more, I'm Nick Nocturne, and I'll be seeing you again real soon. Sleep tight.